there once again, people, and welcome to yet another episode of the QTEST Exploration Project. Basically, up until this point, we were unable to really check out monster-based skins and all that, because we never had the monster files. We never had the ability to actually see monsters in QTEST, which I fixed up with a monster-based patch last time we played. Needless to say, I'm going back a little bit now, actually back to the Aftershock Toolbox, to check out some of the various files which I had to skip over at the time. The Aftershock Toolbox didn't come with this at all. I luckily managed to find it not too far afterwards. So yeah, we're going to just go back quickly, check these out. There's not too many, so it's not really that big of a thing, but it's there. We're going to check it out. Like I said, not really going to have to do anything with the Wiki anyway, so quickly and forwardly, we're going to check out an alien Xenomorph made by John Diamond, also perhaps known as King Diamond. Yeah, he's a great singer. Anyway, he also did the Alien Invasion Doom conversion. Anyway, this is basically a very cool looking Xenomorph for Doom. Basically for some reason people really liked aliens for Doom, probably because Doom was inspired by aliens. And so now that Quake is out, they kind of continued it along with Xenomorphs in Quake. So yeah, rather a little creative thing, little random thing. Anyway, basically this will give a hint to what his next project will be. He's making lots of wall patches and weapons and stuff. Hopefully he'll get a nice level editor soon. Anyway, all you do is just put it in progs, you run it. As said, this is basically a file for Quake test, and because of how it's designed, it doesn't work with the actual regular game. It'll cause the regular game to crash if you try and do it. He said you can basically move it over when the real game comes. You have to ignore all that because he didn't know, and yeah, basically the truth of the matter is there's no compatibility whatsoever. Anyway, additional credits to id Software for teasing us with this little piece of Quake they have given us. Maybe one day it will actually be finished. Anyway, this basically is set up to work with the night. So any area you put a night, it will work with. Fair and simple, right? Anyway, believe it or not, some of the pieces of this graphics was taken from the title screen of Aliens Doom 2.0. The rest was drawn by hand. It took him about 4 hours using MDL and Corel Photo Paint. Anyway, the only bug really here is that Quake is not finished and that he had to use the model of a knight instead of a demon. But the problem is that the wireframes come from the Fiend. So, yeah, it ends up looking like the Fiend, as in the model file, but it's replacing a knight. Yeah, it's rather weird. And it's basically also suggesting, for whatever reason, that the Fiend is not able to be made into a model file, which is really weird when you take into the fact that the last video I showed, I specifically showed that we had giant fiends, which makes that rather contradictory and confusing. It's like the Kunrum 4 website, which talks about the betas as well in QTEST, also says that they don't know if it was ever possible to do anything with the Fiend, but then they talk about other stuff. So, yeah, I'm rather confused about this whole ordeal. Maybe there's another patch involving monsters that was more popular? I don't really know. The one I have is early enough, and it definitely causes fiends to appear. So, needless to say, I'm a bit confused. But, yeah, you could do this for the Fiend, but I'm going to do it for the Knight, since that's kind of what you tried forcing it for. So it's supposed to be for the Fiend, but he had to do it for the Knight because that's literally one of the only enemies you could have. So, when you kill him, it will tell you that it can't find the death frame. Though at least it won't crash the game. When the real Quake comes out, just copy it over to Demon and it will be fine. That's completely wrong, as I said. Xenomorphs and other aliens stuff is copyright FOTS or something. Anyway, you may do basically whatever really with this. Yeah, whoop-de-doo, there you are. A file made entirely for QTEST. That was included on the Aftershock Toolbox, which I can imagine people probably would try to load up and not know what in God's name they were doing wrong. Yeah, it's because of bloody QTEST. Anyway, like I said, took a bit of time, but we found the files necessary to get this thing to run right. So I'm going to say yes, and there we are. There we are. Now I could do map test 1. It would be nice to have some more variety with test 2 and test 3, but yeah, there's only one enemy that spawns. It's right there. Anyway, there we are. As you see, I got my normal look working. And there's Xenomorph, the one Xenomorph in this map right there. Ah! Yeah. It looks a lot like a Fiend. It's just as giant as a Fiend. It's as ugly as a Fiend. It's a Fiend. It's a Xenomorph, to be exact. Owie! Now, as you see, there's no death messages for any of these, so it's not like you miss out on much. Dear God! Run for it! Yeah, as you see, death messages don't really exist. Ah! I love how the pathfinding is so terrible. It doesn't help that it's like spawns right here in one of the worst areas for things to get stuck pathfinding-wise. So you see, it somewhat glitches when you shoot them. As you see, when he dies, there's no animation for that. So it basically just boots it out. So yeah, very simple, very straightforward. It's just a Fiend in a different skin. Kind of like some of the stuff we saw for regular Quake. But this is a particularly different one. This is one for QTEST. And there's a couple for QTEST. Like I said, here's a knight that is for some reason a Fiend. Because the Fiend couldn't be done, even though there is one. As you see, it's really, really horrible if you try and use it because it ends up with that error message that just repeats endlessly. So needless to say, not really good for long term, but this isn't really made for long term. This is made to load up, see for 2 seconds, and then forget about. Yeah, that's the problem with QTEST stuff. There's literally no purpose to the monster stuff at all, because it was stuff just to say, oh cool, this will be coming out soon. But not really something that's in any way practical in 2018 terms. But yeah, here we are, Xenomorph and QTEST. Thank you all for watching. There's really not much to say. I guess I'll see you all next time.